The second part of the visual text questions is the cartoon question, which is question 4. Once again, read and answer the set questions. So let's have a look at this one. Right, so what do we notice? They give you the frames. They actually label the frames so you can't make a mistake. They also tell you, boy's name is Matt, the man and the older woman are his parents, so mom and dad. They'll tell you who everybody is. They don't want any confusion. Right, visual clues. So refer to frame, but we don't answer the refer question. Here's our command word, state. Question word, 2 visual clues for excitement. So it must just be visual. And I find so often that students don't look at the visuals. And things like in the advert, they don't look at the visuals. So the advert might be showing you a backpack for students. And they say, this is what makes it comfortable. But then the question will say, how does the advert show that the backpack is comfortable? And students quote the body copy. So in the same way here, you're looking for visuals. So go back to your frames and have a look at how do we see that he's excited. 2 ways. So obviously look at the little lines. So we've got, let's get a black. We've got this line here and there. So what does this show? He's moving his head from side to side between his father, who's holding him up, and the cute jogger who's coming. And then we've got these lines here that almost like a half a hashtag to show that he is clapping. So it doesn't matter what you say as long as you find 2. So once again, state 2 visual clues. If you want to bullet them, not a problem. But they want 2 visuals to show that he's excited. 2 marks. Moving on to 4.2. Question word is why. Keyword, repeat. What frame am I in? Frame 2. So we go to frame 2. Right, so let's read frame 1. Asks him why he's dressed like that, because he doesn't jog, right? Look at those hands. What do those hands show? Those hands coming out in front of him. They show, what are you dressed like that for? You don't jog. So that's your surprise, disbelief, curiosity, what's going on here, typical gesture for that. And then frame 2, he's explained about the jogger. Here she comes, go away, look at the bowl, go away. Okay. A head injury might be more convincing though, son. All right, so, okay, why does he say it? Notice the hand is up now. He's trying to calm his child down. He is saying, all right, I'm going to go away. I understand you want to get rid of me. You've got other things going. How many marks? It's just 1. So calm his son down, or show that he understands that his son has a sneaky plan going. Right, refer to frame 3. Question word, explain. How Matt pretends to be injured. What have I got to do? 1 verbal, 1 visual clue in your answer. So we've got to look at how, and the how is 1 verbal and 1 visual clue in frame 3. So we go back and we have a look at frame 3. Right. Verbal, he's going, oh, oh, it's fairly obvious. And the visual, he's clutching his knee. You can also talk about the fact that there is another movement line. Can you see here? There are movement lines there to show that he's kind of dragging at his knee. So that's also visual. Injured, he's lying down. Yeah, I suppose wide open mouth screaming, but then that might be very close to my verbal. Okay. How he pretends to be injured, fine. Not a problem, 2 marks. Now we've got a language question. As you know, you can expect language questions in your visual texts. Okay, I will be all right. So, more formal English. I said you've got to be very careful throughout this paper of colloquialisms like stuff and kids, colloquialisms, very ordinary spoken language, which is very casual. And they are here pointing out that okay is casual and asking you for more formal. So please revise colloquial language, formal English, informal English. A long time ago I said don't say kids, say children. Don't say things like he didn't turn up when the teacher asked him to see her. He didn't arrive. So you're trying to be much more aware of colloquial spoken casual English, and you're trying to write a more formal, a more academic English all the way through. Right, we have a multiple choice question. You're going to choose A, B, C, or D, and that's all you're going to write. We've got to go to frame 5. We must choose the correct answer to complete the sentence. Ellipsis, used in I'd, indicates, shows, tells the viewer that the sentence is. So let's just go back to frame 5 just to make sure that we are aware of what we're doing here. Thanks for stopping, he says to her. I should take you out to repay you. She says, that's so sweet. I'd. And there's ellipsis. So what does that tell you? Let's look at our options. Right, what did we say? Get rid of the things that are clearly wrong. So is the sentence inadequate? No, the girl feels inadequate, if you like, to finish that sentence, but the sentence is incomplete. Now be very careful. Students tend to use ellipsis when they actually should use the dash. And what I can see going wrong here is that students might say, in the next frame, the mother is running along to help her child, and so she interrupts the girl, and that's why the ellipsis. No. I wonder if we could try to get the use of these 2 punctuation marks correct. This shows a fading away. This shows an abrupt break. So if I go I'd, and Lesedi comes through that door going, Janet! Then it's not I'd, it's I. Sorry, what's going on? That's the function of the dash. The dash shows something abrupt, a climax, something emotional, something powerful. The ellipsis shows I'd. That's ellipsis. It's a fading away. And I would say that 98% of the time, my students get it wrong. So when they have somebody break into somebody else's conversation, they use ellipsis. No, that's the dash. So this girl, he says, can I take you on a date? And she's going, and therefore the ellipsis. She is not completing her sentence. She's fading away. Right, the quick punctuation thing there. Right, why are the words written in bold in frame 6? So she's shouting, she's concerned, she's worried about her child, whatever. How many marks? Let's go back and have a look. Just one. She's shouting. That's the obvious thing. Mama's coming! Right, really loud. Now, I really want to stop and talk about this question. Cartoons, yes, they're also called the funnies, but there are different ways of being funny. And my candidates tend to say no because it didn't make me laugh. Please don't do that. Start with saying, well, what do cartoonists, what's their job? What's the point? What's their function? And again, I know that teenagers today do not read newspapers and syndicated cartoon strips, and they're not familiar with cartoons anymore. I get that. But while it's still there as part of the syllabus, we need to expand ourselves a little bit and have a look at cartoons. So what is the function of the cartoon strip? And then there's also the single frame cartoon. If you have a political focus, and I'm going to put that down here, then the political purpose is usually satire. And I'm going to come back to that in a moment. But usually cartoon strips are not meant to be satirical. They are meant to look at ordinary, everyday human behavior, the things that we do. And they are meant to poke fun at us, but gently. It's not usually vicious. They're poking fun at us very gently. So there is a message, if you like, but it's a message about everyday life, everyday ordinary human beings living their everyday ordinary lives. So when you're asked for humor in a cartoon, please don't say no because I didn't find it funny. Humor is individual, it's cultural, it's social, it depends on all sorts of things. I would say the first thing is look for irony. So I want to go over irony. Irony happens when we expect something, I'm going to call it X, or hope, or dream, or trust, or believe, or think something, but Y is the reality. Please won't you go over irony? It is so, so, so important. So if we're looking at a cartoon strip, just look for a gentle irony. So he sets up, Matt, no vague pronouns. Matt sets up a situation where he's going to draw this cute jogger's attention. He's going to be able to ask her out for a date, but his mother ruins it. So that's all it is. It's just a gentle poking fun. Who are we gently poking fun at? At Matt for his attempt to ask the girl out, and he's too shy, or he doesn't want to ask her directly. He doesn't feel confident enough. And we're poking fun at the mother, who is a helicopter mother and doesn't let her son alone, and so she ruins his attempt. That's all it is. And yes, he succeeds in creating humor because we get the message, and we think about our mothers, or we think about asking somebody to the matric dance or whatever. So, as opposed to satire, now satire is criticism. So that's the first thing, please. Satire is not humor. It is criticism. How does it make that criticism? It uses humor, like irony or sarcasm or mockery or whatever it is. But it's got a very serious purpose, and it wants to point out, and not just silly human behavior. Its serious purpose is to point out things like evil, corruption in the corridors of power, in the politicians, sin, wickedness. Irony can be gentle, irony can be harsh, but satire is criticism. I don't think that the cartoonist is satirizing these people. They're not going, look how foolish and stupid he is. Look at how hypocritical and disgraceful, and he's lying to the girl. It's a lot more gentle than that. So when you are revising your cartoons, let's just sum this up. What kinds of things am I asking you to look at? I want you to look at the purpose of the cartoon strip, which is to entertain. Purpose of satire is to criticize. That it is like a short story. If it's a cartoon strip, it's like a narrative, and it asks us to look at the world around us, to look at how we feel and how we think about life and other people, and to understand what it is to be human. If it's a short story, please look at aspects of the short story like setting. Look at the characters in the way that you would look at the characters in a short story. Look at stereotypes, people who represent a typical kind of person. Look at caricature, which is exaggeration. So the mother is caricatured, going, Mama's coming. Look at all the visual aspects we've talked about, like font and lines. So you are looking at the text, what they say, but also what you see. Always look at the emotions of the characters and how you know. If you are asked, what is the character feeling? Don't say, the character is angry, I can see that from the facial expression. Say, the character is angry, I can see it from the frown and the down-turned mouth. Please don't say the mouth is frowning, only the eyebrows can frown. So you must be specific. You must look specifically and tell me exactly what you are seeing. You need to know the term speech bubble and thought bubble. It is not a thinking bubble. It is a thought bubble. and you need to know the difference and you need to know the terms. Remember, when you are asked to look at humor, 98% of the times it is irony. So revise irony. And I think that covers most of the obvious things with a cartoon. Again, do past papers so you can get an idea of what the examiners are looking for.